an image. Oh, we're live. Hi, YouTube. Bonjour, mes amis. Hi, friends. My name is Cece, and my pronouns are she and her. And welcome to another episode of Kokedama Live, where I make Kokedama, hang out with you, and take questions. And I kind of want to talk about some other stuff as well on today's stream. So we'll see where things go. But as always, you can ask me anything as long as we are keeping things classy. And you all always keep it classy because you are definitely my people. So thanks for joining. Today I am going to be working on geranium, and then this little red plant that I always forget the fancy name for, but it has like, the color is really striking. I don't think it's showing up on camera very well. But the common name, one of the common names is Bloody Mary. I know the fancy name starts with I. Stephanis, and R. Michael, and Dice. Welcome to the live stream. I am also going to be working on these Monstera Adansani with the super neat leaves with the holes in them. I love these so much. They're so striking and easy to care for. And then gonna do one of these whenever I'm off to the side. This is for YouTube, and whenever YouTube, when I'm off to this side, it's for Instagram. But this is Pachyphytum starburst. Really cute. And then the flower, when it gets a flower, the flower stalk just kind of comes out in the middle, and it's like really tall, and it's got like pink bell-shaped flowers. And I don't think we're gonna get to this one, but this is Cliff Cotyledon, I think, Cotyledon. I may be getting the emphasis wrong, but really cute. It's like these little pointy, flat grapes, but this is also a succulent. But before we get there, I only have like a little bit of moss that's pre-processed, so gotta do that first. Bridal Expo YYC, welcome to the live stream. And on YouTube, I don't know who it is, but welcome to the live stream. If you want to say hi, if you can throw a comment in the live chat, and then I'll know who you are and I can say hi. But I think what I'm gonna do is just process enough moss to do one kokedama at a time. And that way you don't have to sit through like 30 minutes of me processing moss before you get to see the good stuff. But a couple of things that I wanted to talk about today, or tonight, I guess, is mental health and there was something else that now I don't remember, but mental health is a thing because like if you follow me on Instagram, like I did, or Facebook, I did do a post sharing a little bit about how things have been kind of rough and it's been tough to get a lot of work done. Lori says it's been a long time since my last live stream. Yes, and that is connected to this whole mental health conversation that that I kind of want to have. I like the last time I did a live stream was probably like 8 weeks ago, I want to say. Casalot and Nut. Oh, I can't read it from this far, but welcome to the live stream on Instagram. And so I haven't live streamed in at least 2 months. And things have been just like super rough. And I recently moved my residence from an apartment in the south of the city, and now I'm more in the north of the city, which is actually closer to the studio here. And that was actually a really good move. And I was finding that apartment living was a lot of energy for me to deal with on a daily basis. And I am really quite sort of sensitive to people energy. And I was picking up all of the random people energy around me in the apartment, even though I don't necessarily hear the people and my doors are closed. But I kind of just still feel all of the emotional energy. And so that was actually really, really rough. And I didn't know that was something that I was experiencing until I moved and spent my first night at my new place, which is it's a half duplex. And so my roommate and I have the whole half of a house. Lorna, welcome to the live stream. But the neighborhood that we're in is really, really quiet. And that has been really, really good for me. I have been learning to live with a roommate. I've never had a roommate before, so I kind of went from living with my parents, like through like university and stuff. And then I got married at the age of 25 and immediately moved in with my ex-partner. And so I'd never really lived with a roommate before. I kind of skipped that step. I just got moss in my mouth. And so I've been learning to live with a roommate, which has been really interesting. It's been challenging at the same time, very rewarding as well. But kind of between moving and now, I'm sorry. Yeah. Since I stuck my hands in my mouth, I'm going to sanitize. But so the new place is closer to work. And I had searched it on Google, and I was like, oh, it's about an hour walk. At least Google thinks it's about an hour, like 55 minutes. And my plan was to walk to work in the summer when I didn't need to get any supplies or run any errands or things like that. Um, but little did I know that my car would break down. And it was my car was dead for 4 weeks. And I did try taking transit, like public transit. Um, and that was actually um, really hard because of sort of the pandemic, and I don't know why transit seems to be a disproportionate number of people who do not take the pandemic situation very seriously. They just come onto the bus and they'll be holding their mask but not wearing it. They kind of seem to not really care. And then it's like a space where there's typically a lot of men, and I find that really challenging. And so I decided to walk. I was like, it's 55 minutes one way. And, I'm healthy. Walking is good for me. The exercise will be good. And they say, oh, exercise is good for like anxiety and mental health and that kind of thing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna walk to work. Like, sounds like a great idea, right? And so I was walking to work for the 4 weeks that I didn't have my car. And that's not going to be enough moss, I think. We'll get some more here. I'm going to start a new bag. And so this is wet. What I didn't understand about myself is that the walk was actually going to be really challenging for me. And the reason, what I was experiencing while walking was that as I walked, I would get more and more anxious. And it was quite overwhelming. And I was getting overwhelmed by all the sounds and the sights. I have to cross a few really busy streets that often have large trucks and streets where there isn't parking on the side, so the cars are really close. They're right next to the sidewalk, and I was getting very overwhelmed by it, and my anxiety would ramp up higher and higher on the way to work. Oh, thanks for the hearts on Instagram, Kelsey. Miss you so much. And so I would get to work, and I often start my days anxious. I often wake up anxious, and so I would be collecting all of this anxiousness as I was going to work, and then it made it really hard to work when I got to work. My studio space is in the back of a cafe. And so sometimes the energy in the cafe is quite lively, let's say, and it becomes a lot for me after not too long. I wish my eyes would work. Mad for Maddie says, oh no, breathe in and out. And yes, that's definitely a thing. And so I would get to work already quite sort of amped up and anxious, and so I would find myself being able to be productive for an hour or two max, and then all I could think of is self-soothing, because the anxiety was so powerful. And I think different people experience anxiety in different ways. For me, a lot of it is where my heart feels like it's pounding in my chest, like it wants to come out of my chest up here. And Garden of Rie, welcome to the live stream. And then also I find it really hard to breathe when I'm sort of in a state of heightened anxiety. And the way I described it to a friend one time is like, it's not like the hard to breathe, like if you just ran as fast as you could, and it's hard to breathe, not that kind of hard to breathe. It's the kind of hard to breathe like when you have probably somewhat like an asthma attack, or when you, like, if you've had pneumonia before, it kind of feels like that, where it's like it doesn't matter if you breathe quickly or slowly, it just feels like you can't get enough air. And oh, so many people are joining. Judy, welcome. Fife Keefe, welcome to the live stream. Chloe Pratt and Ferrantes, I think, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, and so that's like how I experience anxiety in my body. And so if, you know, when I've been anxious, as soon as I wake up in the morning, and then get more anxious walking to work, and then getting more anxious at work, it made it really hard to be productive at work. And so I would get a couple of hours of work done and then end up just trying to soothe. I would be either like on my phone or like trying to eat soothing type foods. Like I love chewy candies or like crunchy, salty snacks, because they have lots and lots of sensory input that I kind of use to override whatever else I'm feeling that I'm not liking. And so I've just been like really not productive for 4 weeks. And I didn't even understand what was going on until my roommate brought it up. And she kind of said, oh, it looks like you're being overwhelmed by your senses. And she calls it sensory overwhelm. And it's like something that can happen to like people who are on the autistic spectrum or ADHD. It can be a thing for people with ADHD as well. And she was the one to notice it. I didn't even understand what was going on. And so I would get home after work, and of course after work I was walking an hour on those busy streets, and having strange men try to talk to me even though I'm wearing like giant headphones, and so I would get home completely like kind of completely overwhelmed by what I've been experiencing. And then, I would get home and hide out in my room in bed. And my roommate said to me, do you realize that you come home and crawl into bed and you lie there for an hour or 2 or 4? I think so far, my record is 4 hours, and it's not like I'm sleeping. I'm just lying there trying to not experience all of the sensory stuff that has been happening to me, and kind of trying to let go of that. And that had been my experience for the 4 weeks that I didn't have my car, and like my car was just having these issues that were like super weird, like very not common, the cause of it. But they did end up fixing it, and I got my car back like a week ago. And when I finally got my car, the first time I drove home, my apron. Thank you, Lori. Lori is watching out for me. There we go. This is going to keep my clothes safe from me. And yeah, the first time that I drove home from work after I got my car back, I cried, because it was the first time in a month that I had felt safe while traveling home. And I kind of cried, sort of halfway, when I realized that I wasn't incurring more and more anxiety as I drove home, and it felt safe in my car. And I hadn't known that this was something that I struggled with, because I've never been in that position where I experienced that type of exposure to sort of that intense of a sensory experience, at least intense for me. Apparently, my roommate says that my sense of smell is also very sensitive, and so that 4 weeks I learned a lot about myself, and learned about sort of what situations that I need to be careful in. And so I have a lot of stuff to work through with my therapist. But at the same time, I am also going to talk to my doctor about medication. And I'm sort of at wit's end, because my anxiety had been severely yummy tummy YYC, welcome to the live stream. My anxiety had very severely impacts my day-to-day life. And as an entrepreneur, if I can't get into work and be productive. I'm the only person here, like there isn't anybody else minding the atelier. There's nobody else making kokedama. It's just me. And if I can't do that, I'm not making a living. And if I'm not making a living, I'm not paying rent, and I'm not, I'm not putting food on my table. And so I'm meds is a thing that's really scary to me. I am very susceptible to all sorts of drugs and substances. I can't drink because I get tipsy on a half cup of kombucha, which is like less than 0.5% alcohol. Like my kids can drink kombucha and it's like it's not a thing. So I can't have any alcohol basically, and I'll get high by walking through, like somebody's secondhand cannabis smoke. I'll just get super high from walking through that and sort of breathing, if I breathe that in. And so medication kind of scares me because I've heard so many horror stories about trying to find the right medication and the right dosage. Who else has joined here? Plants on Queen Mary, Raimundo, and Edel00. Welcome to the live stream. And we have 4 people on YouTube, but I can't see who it is. But I'm at the point where I need to try all the things, even though I'm scared of them, because even just the last week that I've had my car back, I've been a lot more productive at the atelier, where I'll get another extra hour of productivity, and I've been able to finish making kokedama, get them on the website. I don't know what my hair is doing. Get them on the website, post on Instagram, and then people are buying them. And like that's what I need to do to make my business work. But I just need my body to work so that I can make my business work. And so I have a doctor's appointment next week, and I'm going to ask my doctor, or at least have a conversation about anti-anxiety medication, and one of my good friends, Alexandra, I had a chat with her about medication, and for her, she had it was a big success story. It wasn't that nightmare story that I kept hearing about, and she just encouraged me to have that conversation with my doctor and see how we could sort of take it slow and take into account my drug sensitivities. And so that's the plan. And I'm really hoping that if I find the right medication with my doctor, then that will allow me to work more effectively with my therapist, and also be more effective at work, which would, how do I say it? It would mean that my business would run um, a little bit more smoothly. And then, I would have less financial type worries, which would also reduce my anxiety on that side. So um, I kind of have everything to gain and not much to lose by exploring medication for my condition, whatever it is. And I think that's a long story for me to say that don't wait as long as I did to get help. It's not. I don't know if it's like Western culture, or like, I know for sure in Chinese culture, like, mental health is just not a thing that we talk about at all. And I think there's a lot of stigma around it. And but really, I've talked to so many of my friends, um, because I felt like I was just at wit's end, and they all, once I was able to open up with them, they were able to open up with me. Who do we have on Instagram? Mariana, Rachel, PMAC Virtual, and Adriana. Welcome to the live stream. And Paul Toe Photography. Welcome to the live stream. Just talking about mental health and sort of my journey on the last sort of 6 weeks. And if you are having a hard time with mental health, like, it could be depression, it could be anxiety like me, or like this sensory overwhelm thing that I've been experiencing, I just encourage you to talk to somebody. You can talk to your friend, you can talk to your doctor, you can call a crisis line. And like, the crisis lines do not judge you. They are there to listen and hear you. And the people that work at crisis lines, they just want you to be okay. And I want you to be okay too. So if you're having a hard time, like, you don't have to suffer through it. And kind of, I wish I could have dealt with my stuff sooner. And maybe I wouldn't have gotten to as bad a state as I'm sort of currently in. But I am where I am, so I'm just gonna work from here, and you are where you are, and you'll end up working from this place that you're at. And there's no, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna show you. It's a very funny thing that happens to these plants all the time. But reach out to your doctor, to your friends. You'd be surprised how many people experience anxiety or depression or other mental health challenges, but we tend not to talk about them. Okay, this is the thing that I wanted to show you. I'm going to show YouTube first. I don't know if you can see it, but here there is a hole in the leaf And growing through the hole in the leaf is this stem and like this leaf and this leaf. Instagram, see here, this is the hole, this is the stem, second leaf, third leaf. And I think I'm gonna have to cut the leaf because I can't get the other stuff out without cutting it, and it's too bad. Yeah, and that's a funny thing that happens to the Monstera adansani. Yeah, I really like this one all by itself. It has really nice sort of structure. So I'm going to do this one all by itself. But yeah, mental health. It's really important. It's just as important as your physical health. And it's mental health impacts sort of everything the same way that physical health impacts everything, like the way that you live. Yeah, that was really long-winded. I just want you to know that it's normal. It's not a shameful thing. And where I have experienced a lot of shame around it, but I think a lot of it is just from me. See who's stuck? Jacqueline's garden, she hen plant, Nai. Oh, I can't. I can't read that far. Mad for Maddie says, take care always. And yes, we do have to take care of ourselves. Oh, my soil mix is a little bit dry. It doesn't super duper want to stick. So that's my big long story about mental health, and like, please be gentle with yourself, and even though it's hard, and get help even though it's hard. But I do feel like I'm getting a little bit better, and I'm hoping with help that I will get a lot better. But I struggle at home sometimes. I don't know, there's a dog in the neighborhood that barks. And so if I have the window open and the dog is barking, sometimes that's a little bit debilitating. And that happened to me the other day where I was just kind of stuck in bed and being overwhelmed by the barking. And I was so overwhelmed that I didn't feel like I was able to just get up and close the window. And it feels really weird to like not feel like you can't get up to close a window. I don't know if you've experienced anything like that before, but it feels pretty scary. Like opening or closing a window is like something that should be really easy, but somehow when I'm overwhelmed, it's too much and I can't do it. Rachel Edit says, I completely understand. Loud noises can be triggering. Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of been a thing for me since I was a little kid. In the home that I grew up in, there was like the neighbor had this really like, I don't even know if it's a big dog, but a loud dog who would bark every time the dog was outside. And so like we didn't have a back door, we had a side door, and whenever I went out, that dog would bark quite loudly and aggressively. And as a kid, I was deathly afraid of that dog and their barking. And I would cower. And like I always thought it was in fear. But sort of now in retrospect, I suspect that it was quite overwhelming for me. Just gonna give this a wipe here. Yeah, loud noises is definitely something that's very challenging for me. Just gonna make sure our moss is nice and moist. And like, I don't know if anybody on the live stream right now has experience with anti-anxiety medication, but if you want to share your story around medication and like that experience, whether on the live stream or like afterwards, I would love to hear about your experience. I am like really nervous about like talking about it with my doctor, and sort of the process. I don't even know what the process looks like to like find the right medication. And I don't know what it, I can't even imagine what it feels like to be on that type of medication. And so it's kind of like, how do I know it's working? I don't know. How do I know that it's working too much? I don't know. So I'm quite sort of nervous around that, even though I kind of know that I need to. So I'm just gonna, we're gonna do the moss for this Monstera adansoni. And I am using my olive green, dark olive, I think, dark olive green polyester thread. Oops. But that being said, I have been having this like really challenging time, but at the same time, a lot of sort of really neat, amazing things have been happening. I got to work with MEC, which is an outdoor sort of outdoors store and brand. It used to be called Mountain Equipment Co-op, but it's no longer a co-op. They got bought by, I think, a US company or something. But I had a couple of guest posts on their Instagram that was really neat. and that was really neat to get to work with a national brand, and just on like it's kind of a more personal thing, not associated with Kokedama. What else? I signed with a modeling agency in town, like a local modeling agency. That was exciting. And what else? I got interviewed on a podcast, and that podcast comes out on Saturday, so pretty soon. And I will definitely be promoting that on in my stories here. And the podcast is called Paper Napkin, and it's a podcast about connection, and like the host Kendra, she talks to basically a whole bunch of people and explores connection with them and what it means to connect, and how a person connects. And so the episode that I'm on is episode 3, and it was a really good conversation, and I'm really excited for that to come out. I think that on one hand, it's like, it's great for my Kokedama brand, but I think the more important part is that it's representation. It's an Asian Canadian representation, but also a queer representation. And I think that's really important, because the racialized queer experience is in many, many ways very different from like a Western Caucasian queer experience. And I really wish that I had seen more people like me, but I didn't. And so now I get the chance to have other people have that representation and see themselves in like media and podcasts, and like in photos and stuff, like for MEC or MEC, depending on how you want to say the brand. But yeah, that's been really, really exciting as well. 91 Quina Muridu 22 Agaze and watercolor and vintage. Welcome to the live stream. And we still have 3 people on YouTube. Okay, this is one Monstera Adansani. I might save one of these for myself and take it home. But I love the way the leaves, the vine is going this way, but the leaves are kind of going in this direction. It feels a little bit like the windswept style of bonsai, but this is not bonsai, but it reminds me of that style. So I don't have enough moss to do another one right away, so we're just gonna have to process some more moss. And I think I will do this one next because it's been in this ball for a couple days, and they really deserve a mossy home. So that's gonna be next. Let me just clean this off a little. Oh. I don't know how many kokedama I'm gonna make tonight, but Dion Cito, welcome to the live stream. It's been a very long time. And Ethos Bridal, welcome to the live stream. I feel like this might be your first time on the live stream, so welcome. Ethos Bridal is a bridal store that's in the Devonish building, and my store used to be in the Devonish building as well, and I really do kind of miss the vibes at the Devonish. It's sort of this one building where so much of the retail in that building is female, woman-owned businesses. Not really female, like that just sounds so biological, but like women-owned businesses, and she's like really supportive, and a really quite amazing vibe in that building, and it's beautiful. It's a very beautiful heritage building. But for anybody who hasn't been on the live stream before and is just joining, my name is Cece and my pronouns are she and her, and I'm making kokedama, hanging out with you, and taking questions. You can ask me anything you want as long as we're keeping it classy. So you can ask about plants, you can ask about, I don't know, business, you can ask about dating, although I am not wise in the ways of dating. I have not dated in 18 years or something like that. And so I don't even know how to date anymore. But maybe you can teach me about dating in the modern era. Life coaching avec Gabriella. Welcome to the live stream. You can ask me about my transition. All I ask is that we keep things super classy, and honestly, I've never had an issue. Everybody always keeps it really classy because my people are classy people. I'm just gonna, I just need to process through this moss so that we can work on that Bloody Mary plant. I think the other thing that's been really challenging yet encouraging is that, we have a question on Instagram. But I will get to that question shortly. Something that's really challenging right now is in our city. There's a lot of men attacking women, like on the street, or like stalking them, or like attempted kidnappings and things like that. And like it's super scary. And that paired with sort of this anti-Asian sentiment that's been going around since COVID pandemic started. It's been really scary as a woman who is Asian and queer. You know, like that's been really scary. But the encouraging part is, I think that as a community, as the Asian, as an the I feel like the Asian community, we are finally learning to stand up for ourselves and to speak up when things aren't right. And I really do think that the surge in the Black Lives Matter movement really helped my Asian community to see that, you know, there is a way to speak up, and that we kind of need to stand up for ourselves. It's not enough to just wait for somebody else to stand up for us, and we shouldn't have to, but we do have to. So I feel like we're learning that, and that is really encouraging because our culture tells us not to. Yeah. And so Lori had asked, do you have lots of plants at your new place? So it depends if you mean my place, my new home, or my new place, atelier. At the atelier, yes, there's quite a lot of plants right now. There's a bunch that are sold. But the showroom is currently pretty full because I had a productive week last week after getting my car back and feeling more safe. At my new home, I have way more plants than I used to. And mostly it's because one of my good friends, Michelle Houveld, moved to Montreal, and she had a whole bunch of plants that her family and friends didn't have room for. And when she asked if I wanted to adopt her plants and care for them, I said yes, because now every time when I take care of those plants, I'm reminded of Michelle, and I like that. So right now at home, I have a really big ficus tree, so it's about like 8 feet tall. I have a bunch of ZZ plants, which are like super easy to care for. Like I think we have 3. There is a Calathea, which I normally find quite challenging. It's the challenging part is to find the balance to not overwater, but to also give enough water. What else? There's a big philodendron, a split leaf philodendron, and then I have a big fiddle leaf fig. I don't know if you could hear that though. It was a siren. I think it was ambulance. I find sirens really hard. What else do we have at home? We have it's tall. Oh, it's a palm. I forget the name of the variety. And then my roommate has a pothos and also a fern. I don't remember what kind. And then my roommate bought a bunch of like a little bunch of baby's breath. But I don't like the baby's breath because of the smell. And my roommate says it doesn't really smell like anything. It's really mild. And for me, every time I sit at the table, like even with my food, all I smell is all this baby's breath. And yeah, it's a bit much. Like for me, that's what we have at home right now. So like a few plants, but like not like tons and tons of plants. I think I'm going to take a monstera home though, a monstera adansani. I kind of want to turn my bedroom into a bit more of a garden sanctuary. This like bird track, I also have it playing at home in the living room and then also in my bedroom. Let's see who popped up on Instagram. Ninth and Brick, Jay Bazanes, Grazie Verdi, Glow MD Row, and Most Juliest. Welcome to the live stream. This starts with I. The second part of the name is Herbsty. I can't remember the first part. But pretty striking red leaves. Fred Mon, welcome to the live stream. I'm really happy that Instagram allows me to do longer live streams now. It used to be that you could only do an hour, and we just hit an hour. And I did a lot of talking, and I've only finished one Kokedama. And so it's nice to be able to do like 2 or 3 hour long live streams where I can do a little bit more work and like chat and not have to do 2 live streams. Because sometimes, like back in the day when I started, like when it would drop the live stream after an hour, sometimes people who wanted to rejoin the live stream weren't able to find the sort of the notification for the new stream. So this is nicer. Oh, and on the topic of representation, like I started modeling because I felt that there wasn't enough Asian trans representation in media, and that that maybe I should be trying to create it. And my response to that was, I know I'll become a model. And so if you have any modeling opportunities that is a good fit for somebody like me, let me know. I'd be super interested. And yeah, it would be amazing for more positive Asian trans representation, because there's so little of it. Something else that's been happening is tomorrow is, what's tomorrow? March 31st is Trans Day of Visibility, and Skipping Stone is a Calgary-based charity organization that helps trans people navigate the medical system here. It helps them get mental health support and peer support for trans people here. And they are going to be doing 24 interviews, I think, sort of one interview for every hour of Trans Day visibility. And I get to be one of those people. And I'm going to be talking about representation. But if you tune into Skipping Stone's live streams tomorrow, you will be able to catch a lot of these mini sort of 5 to 7 minute interviews. I think it's going to be really interesting. There's a lot of people, there's a few people who are being interviewed that I know, but there's a whole lot of people that I've never met or even heard of. And I'm really excited to hear their stories and hear them share their stories. So if you are curious, check out Skipping Stone tomorrow for all of these interviews. They're just going to be live streamed, I think. Okay, so this is the finished Kokedama, this Bloody Mary plant. Julia, welcome to the live stream, and Carnagram, welcome to the live stream. I think I need to do more moss, and then I think I'm gonna work on this geranium. And so this flower stalk is done flowering. This one I think got bumped hard. Lost some flowers there. But I love geraniums as Kokedama. They have such striking shape. KJF269, welcome to the live stream. And Las Dulcerias, welcome. And Christine, welcome to the live stream. Christine, it's been such a long time. I wish we could just catch up. There's so many people that I want to catch up with. But first, moss. And I am on my last bag of moss, and I hope that last week my plant order did not go through, and there was a little mess up on the wholesaler side, and hopefully this week will be the week. Otherwise, I don't know, maybe I'll be taking some time off if I don't get any moss. or I'll just work on other projects that. KJF says that you're not getting sound. We were getting sound earlier. Can anybody else confirm that they have sound or don't have sound? I mean, I guess if you don't have sound, you don't know that I'm asking if you have sound. But if you have sound, can you please comment to say that you have sound? Oh, good. Oh, good. Katie. Welcome, Katie. It could just be that the internet here at the atelier is quite, it's not the best. It's a little slow. It's a little bit better after hours because there's no other people using it. But during cafe hours, it's, I think it's quite overwhelmed by all the devices connecting to it. But yeah, working on the geranium next. Geranium is a really nice indoor plant. I know that they show up in the spring and summer, and we're used to them being like garden bed plants. And I mean flower bed plants. But what I love as a kokedama, and I'll show you after I'm done, I guess, is that in a flower bed, we see the sort of the geranium like this. We see the tops because usually they're kind of all packed together. But as a kokedama, we get to see all of the structure of the plant. And I also like to apply some pruning to them using some sort of aesthetic considerations borrowed from bonsai. And they just, I feel like they look so spectacular. Thanks for the confirmation, Lori. Oh. Oh. I know what I need. I need water. Getting close. Almost there. After I finish tonight, I think I won't post these on the website until tomorrow. On Monday, I went out to the mountains to do a little photo shoot. And I want to edit those photos tonight so that I can post one of them tomorrow. And so once I finish this, then I'll head home, probably get a snack, and do some photo editing, write the post. And I haven't felt like I could do this much stuff in a long time, and it feels really good actually to finally have the capacity to do what I know that I am capable of. I think I need just a little bit more. This bag of moss is not the best bag of moss that I've had. It looks green, but the green parts are like very just on the surface. Hasty Coffee, welcome to the live stream. I think this might be first time. I think a month ago, something like that, we did a giveaway with Hasty Coffee and Sought and Found and 8-ounce coffee. And so Hasty Coffee makes instant coffee. And I haven't tried Hasty Coffee yet. But the interesting thing about Hasty Coffee is they don't use, like, it's not instant coffee like nabob style instant coffee in the sense that it's just sort of commodity grade coffee. It's specialty coffee grade coffee. So like sort of the stuff that you would get at Sought and Found or like Phil and Sebastian or like more specialty coffee places, and they make an instant coffee that tries to preserve all of the terroir of the coffee. So a lot of times it's like single origin coffees, and like coffees from different places have very sort of like specific characteristics, and so in their instant coffees they try to preserve that, which I think is super neat, because there's times that you want good coffee but you just don't have a place to brew it. And so if you have Hasty instant coffee, you can have like fantastic coffee almost wherever you can get hot water. And I think that's super amazing. Cecilia, thank you. No, I can't read. Cecilia, thanks for the confirmation. just going to spray this stuff down first. Yes, Katie, I need to try hasty coffee also. I just, Hasty, if you are still on the live stream, where can we get hasty coffee? Is it just online? I think 8-ounce might carry it. I don't know. Where do we get hasty coffee? We need to know. Okay, these are my other monsteras, but I'm gonna work on this geranium first. And a lot of times people are like, oh, geranium, that's so boring, but they're really beautiful. And hopefully when I'm done, you will see what I mean. And I hope that you will agree. That is a lot of roots. For a relatively small plant. Yeah, these are the Swiss cheese or the monkey face Monstera adansani. And this is the done one. Okay, geranium, let's do this. And I used to do geraniums with quite a small ball because aesthetically it's like it was quite pleasing, but they can grow quite aggressively in the spring and summer. And so I make the ball a little bit bigger than I used to now. Otherwise it needs a new moss ball too soon. It feels a little bit unfair if people have it for just a short time and then, have to get a new soil and moss ball for it already in a short time. So I try to just make the home a little bit bigger for the geraniums to grow into. I think we can go a little bit bigger. Just a little bit more room. Oh, for that skipping stone thing, my live interview is tomorrow, 7:30. I'll probably pop that in my stories. There, that's pretty good. Katie on Instagram asked, how do you know when it needs a new ball? And so there's two sort of, I guess there's three scenarios. One is that your plant is growing very vigorously and it's so tall and big that it's no longer able to stand, like it just falls over all the time. That's kind of a great scenario. The second scenario is if the roots of the plant are growing through the bottom of the ball. Like the roots will just like start coming out the bottom there. And depending on the plant, sometimes you can prune the plant on top and then also on the bottom to keep them sort of at a certain size, and that kind of borrows from bonsai again. Or you can get a new soil and moss ball for it that's bigger to support it. And then the third sort of scenario is that you're noticing like nutrient deficiencies, and sometimes that exhibits as a discoloration of the leaves, and like not necessarily like brown tips often is lack of water, but like if the leaves are turning like yellow, that can be a sign. Or if the plant is growing new leaves and all the old leaves are dying away, that's often a sign of nutrient deficiency as well. And ooh, I almost knocked over YouTube. And so that's sort of the third scenario for getting a new soil and moss ball. But you can compensate sorry, I'm mucking with my hair. So like this, I have this curtain bangs, sort of situation going on, but I helped a friend move today, so my hair's in a ponytail. And I don't know, the curtain bangs with ponytail thing I haven't really figured out yet. But yes, in the case of nutrient deficiency, you can also fertilize to compensate for that. Oh, I guess there's a fourth scenario where you kept your Kokedama for so long that the moss is old and decayed, and you're starting to get soil leaking through. That would be a good time for getting a new soil and moss ball. And we now that I've been in business for 4 years, I'm starting to see people come back with their Kokedama, saying that, oh, like it's grown so much, and I think it needs a new ball. And like sometimes it's like this tiny little ball, like this big, and then there's like this giant plant sticking out of it. And it's great to see that people have been able to take care of their Kokedama for like a few years, and that they're enjoying it, and it's like the plant is doing well. Cherry Tree Lane Toys, welcome to the live stream. And Atelier Santoletta, welcome to the live stream. And somebody else that I missed, I am sorry, but welcome to the live stream. I am working on this geranium. I hope I have enough moss to finish it. I think so. And this particular batch of moss is very stiff. It's not the springtime moss. Springtime moss tends to be really nice and soft. And this feels a lot more like winter moss that's like really stiff and wiry feeling. It's still good moss. It's just not as joyous to work with. I think it's just maybe reflective of the winter season. I think I have just enough. So after I finish the ball on this one, I'm going to prune away some of the leaves to reveal more of the structure of this geranium. Because I keep going on and on about, oh, the structure is so beautiful. And I hope that you'll see what I mean. Geraniums do have pretty flowers, but it's not all about the flowers all the time. They do flower often though, if they're in a nice bright spot. And sometimes even in the winter, when we're keeping them indoors. And when it's a kokedama in a place as dry as Calgary where I live, it's very difficult to keep kokedama outside because it's too dry. And in the summer, our sun is very intense, which also dries things out incredibly fast. Oops. It feels so nice to be doing a live stream after so long. Vanya, welcome to the live stream. Martha, welcome to the live stream. And Kokedama's Violetta, welcome to the live stream. Also, if there are any other people working with Kokedama, if you want to do a joint live stream, do a live stream together and make Kokedama together, that would be something I would be super into. I think that would be super neat. I've never really experienced that except for like when I'm teaching, but that's a super different experience. So yeah, if you're watching the live stream and you're a Kokedama maker, I would love to connect and see if we could do a live stream together. And you don't have to be like a professional or anything like that. It's just fun to do things together. Who just joined? Coco Plantitas, welcome to the live stream. And just finish off this thread here. Okay, I'm going to set this aside, pour off some of this water. And let's do that pruning that I was talking about. I didn't used to wear gloves while working. I do like having all of the touch sensitivity with bare hands, but my skin just ended up getting really dry and like overly softened by the all the liquid, and then I would like get cuts and stuff really easily. So we have a few leaves that are like browned, so I'm gonna get rid of those. I think I'm gonna get rid of this and this. And this. This one's another brown piece. I'm debating whether I get rid of this one or this one. And I'm kind of feeling like this one. And I'm going to clean up some of the other spots. Okay. So this is what I mean by geranium has, it's like really structured and it branches really nicely. And like it's really quite a beautiful plant, and sort of as it grows, it kind of branches out and has these like little terraces and stuff. And I think it's a really spectacular plant for something that's not like super expensive. It's very common as a plant. But we have some new flowers coming in here. There's new buds coming in here, right here. And then maybe some over here as well. So yeah, I love the geraniums, and there's so many color variations. Multisaurus, welcome. Passion flowers, welcome to the live stream. 8:41. Do I want to make another one? Maybe another Monstera? I think maybe I'm going to call it a live stream and kind of end here. But I'll just bring back all of the stars of the live stream. And then I think I'm going to look up the name of this. Also needs a serious watering. Well, not serious, but needs a watering. I can't even get into my... Okay. Why isn't this not working? know it starts with I. Okay, let's scroll to the eyes. Oh, Irazine Herbsty. Who else has just joined? EJ Eckert. Welcome to the live stream. So this is Irazine Herbsty. Kind of a really neat plant. The color of the leaves is just, it's like this purple, like a red purple, and the veins are like a lighter, like fuchsia color. I wish the lighting would show this off, but you can, if I get closer, you can kind of see the veins of the leaves. Just really pretty. This is the first time I've done the Irazine. And then the first one that I did is this Monstera Adansoni. So it's a smaller, much smaller than Monstera deliciosa, but also quite easy to care for. It will enjoy a bright space, but even if it's a little bit less bright, sort of on the medium side, it's going to do well. It doesn't like direct sun. Excuse me. It doesn't like direct sun. That's going to like scorch the leaves. And then we have this geranium. It's just a zonal geranium. This one has like pimple? No. Pink, sort of pink purpley flowers. And it's got this great branching structure that we can emphasize with pruning. This is going to flower quite a lot. Oh, I broke this flower stem. The geranium will flower quite a lot under bright conditions. And that's the three Kokedama that we made on this live stream. Garden of Rie says, we call that here in the Philippines as blood leaf plant. Yes, it's also known as Bloody Mary plant here. But I feel like it's not really a blood color. But it is way easier to remember than Irazine Herbsty. But it's okay. Yeah, just such a fantastic coloration, and the little ripples in the leaves have so much interest in them. But thank you so much for joining me on another Kokedama Live and listening to me share about mental health. And I think just as one more reminder, is that if you are finding things difficult, emotionally, mentally, as a lot of us are, like these are unprecedented times, that it's okay to not feel okay. It's okay to ask for help, even though it might be really scary. Like in my case, I was very scared to ask for help as well. And if you have kids, check up on your kids as well, because the kids in school right now, they're the only generation who has had an experience anything like this, where they've been asked to go to school in the middle of a pandemic and have cases appear in their classrooms and in their schools, and then they have to isolate at home and they can't see their friends and they have to go to school online. Like that is a really sort of exceptional situation, and so it's important to check on your kids as well. Mental health is very, very important. Please try to take care of yourselves. And I guess until next time, thanks for joining the live stream. Au revoir. How do I end a live stream? End video. And YouTube for, oh, Belinda's here. Okay. I didn't see your comment before, Belinda, so I'm just gonna address your question. Belinda asks, do you use a different soil mix? I can't even read at the moment. Do you use different soil mixtures for every kind of plant? And I don't. I generally use one soil mixture for most of the plants, except for orchids. So sorry. Except for orchids. So for orchids, I use it's like a preserved sphagnum moss, and it's just because orchids require a lot more gas exchange for their roots. They're meant for they are epiphytic, and so normally they climb on trees and like they cling to rocks and things like that. And so for the orchids, I use orchid moss, and then and even for succulents, like these guys, the pachyphytum, I just use the same normal soil mix that I use. And so the mix that I use doesn't have any clay in it. Like I don't add clay in my soil mixes. So it's very free draining. I like my soil mix to not be too, like not retain too much water, so that we don't have water retention problems, because if the soil retains too much water, then it's hard to control the moisture level in the ball if it retains too much water. But if it's free draining and it has a little bit lower water retention, then we can just water more if the plant is the type of plant that needs more water. And that's my personal philosophy on it. I would rather water more often than to be saddled with trying to manage overwatering. And so with a lot of the plants, even with succulents, with the soil mix that I use, I can water them every second day, even with succulents, and it's fine. But that's also because the place where I live is very dry. And you may need to be more careful if you live on the coast, or just in a more tropical climate where it's more humid. It's just really, 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 really dry there. So Belinda, I hope that answers your question. If you have more questions, you can always send me a message on Instagram or Facebook, or even here on YouTube, although I'm not good at getting the notifications for messages on YouTube, and I'm not sure why. And I guess that brings us to the end of our live stream on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, au revoir. I was gonna try to click my screen, but my screen is not a clicky screen. So weird.